Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a further dip to the downside. Bitcoin down below the $64,000 mark. Ethereum coming down approximately 5%. And the rest of the crypto space taking a bit of a beating. We have Solana, XRP, Polkadot, Doge, Pepe, and many others coming down to much lower levels. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I do want to focus on Bitcoin today. Guys, what is Bitcoin doing? Is it going to drag the market down to lower levels so that we can buy the dips? So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams that are now at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, feel free to join me at 8 p.m. Eastern time, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the general market. We'll scrape through the top 100 first. Take a look at the market cap as it is falling over. As you can see, we're falling below that $2.5 trillion market cap, and we're getting a bit of volume introduced, which means that the sell-off is real. We got some market participation in this sell-off. It's not a lot of volume of increased volume, as you can see, but it is definitely there. Okay, so guys, just be careful here in this negative moment that we're seeing here in the market. We see Bitcoin down to 3%, Ethereum down of almost 5%. And as we scroll down through the markets, you can see a lot of the heavyweights are coming down. Solana being one of them, one of the bigger dippers in the last little bit. And then you can scroll down and you can see that there's a lot of weakness. You know, Toncoin's looking okay, still doing all right here, you know, propped up very nicely. But as we go down, the overall consensus, the overall general sentiment at this current moment is bearish, as can be seen. A lot of these altcoins are coming down. We have a lot of bigger dips, 10% for Pepe. Obviously, a little bit more volatility there in the meme coin sector, but still there. We have stacks following Bitcoin's lead, you know, down 5%. And as we go down, look at all these fractals, guys. They're all the same. I would say an average about 5% so far, you know, to the downside. Dog with hat, a little bit more. Of course, memes have a little bit more of that volatility, so prepare and brace for impact. We have Aave, you know, looking strong, still up 4.3%. You know, that's definitely going against the grain as the market's falling. We're still seeing Aave look strong, so that's really good. The graph coming down and so many others coming down, rolling over. And what else do we have here, guys? Just a lot of dips everywhere. Just a lot of dips. Algo dipping and further to the downside. We have Gate, an exchange token, coming down. A lot of these altcoins, as you can see, are coming down. So the question is, what are we buying, guys? What's on your shopping list? For me, to be honest, ENS is on my shopping list. I'm interested. I'm looking for entries. I'm being very, very patient as the market breaks down. In the last 24 hours, it's down 9%. So we're almost in those double-digit dip scenarios. I might be scaling in. And what else, guys? Honestly, start looking for, you know, through your watch list. Look through your watch list. Look for the major dips. Look for the, you know, double-digit dips, and start DCAing nice and slowly. When we build some structure into this dip, when we see Bitcoin go sideways and holds horizontal support, that's when we can start deploying a little bit more capital with confidence, right? As of now, you don't want to be caught trying to catch that falling knife, and that's one of the biggest issues is those emotional dips. These emotional dips, you know, basically come in, and then we start looking for buying in, and sometimes we buy in too heavy. So just wait for the structure so that you can, you know, keep some risk management intact. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin, guys. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's give it a look. What's going on here with Bitcoin? Bitcoin at the end of the day did very well, right? It rallied up very nicely. It changed the character by making a higher high based on, you know, the previous high, the local high. So not bad. Nice change of character. Now what we're really doing is back testing. And guys, if you've been following me here on the channel, I expected this back test. This is something that I was anticipating. This is something that I've been preparing for psychologically. And all of a sudden we are here. We have made it. We see Bitcoin come down to horizontal support, back testing the breakout zone of the change of character. And the question is, do we hold support here? Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Technically speaking, the biggest issue at the current moment is that the sentiment is bearish, and it's going to be very, very hard for people to start getting bullish when you start to see this type of price action. If you look at what happened, really, if you exclude this wick, if you don't include the wick on the price action, and you just look at the bodies, right, we made a lower low. But if you look at the wick, and the fact is that the price did get here, right, it did reach here because we do have that wick that came down there. Really, what we're testing is this low again, right? And now if we can hold support again and get the same reaction as we did in the past with a quick buy up, a very strong buy up, it's a good indication that, the price is not coming down lower, and this could be the local bottom. And in fact, we can start looking at this as a bull flag or some sort of structure right into here where we can start putting some confidence in, because this was a nice impulse. Now we're getting some sort of a structure, and then maybe another impulsive move to the upside, which means that maybe this is a bull flag, right? This could be definitely a bull flag. Now, what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, let's get rid of some of these oscillators here for a second. You can see the worst case scenario is that we actually keep on coming down. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to come down in one go or keep on going down red. We could keep on coming down. It's very, very possible. Maybe touch around this level. The 200 daily EMA is right here. We got the volume gap area. We got the previous horizontal support with many, many touches and a good level, psychological level, of course, bunch of emotions in this level. We could come down to about 60,000 to about 59,000, definitely hit this level, and still maintain this bull flag, big picture bull flag, right? Don't forget this big picture. Sometimes we really do need to zoom out. We need to zoom out and see exactly what we're playing with, and you can see that we're still in this bull flag that we've been looking at for the last little while. And even if we came down to the worst case scenario, which is at about 59k, and held that as support, that's still quite bullish. Still, we still have the possibility of getting that reversal, still making a higher low, big picture higher low, and getting back to the top of the range, and still getting to those higher levels where we can see Bitcoin break out of this, bull flag. Now, that would be super, super bullish, obviously super bullish. And then the question is, what happens to the altcoins if that were to happen? Do we eventually see the altcoins wake up? Do we see the market that generally start, getting into its bull rally? Our portfolio, is our portfolio prepared for that scenario? And this is something that we really need to anticipate, because ultimately, the big picture needs to be considered. Are we in a bull run, right, where we're going to see a continuation to the upside? So let's zoom back in. Let's get down into lower levels again and just kind of see what's going on here. So basically, I remain bullish. Unless we start breaking, I guess, right around the $60,000 mark. If we start breaking below, especially this low, guys, this 55k, these wicks down here, guys, breaking below this low would be absolutely bearish. But I can start getting into a bearish stance and worried, and getting defensive right around this area. Now, one thing that we have to consider is that we could come straight down, but we could also get a bounce here, get another little bounce right into here, come back down, and break this again and come back down lower. And that basically gives us more of a complex, reversal pattern, some sort of inverse, maybe Adam and Eve, or inverse, cup and handle, or something like that, right into this level, where eventually we roll over and come down to this. But it doesn't have to happen, because the reality is, if you think about it, what's really could be painted here is that we got a nice complex bunch of shoulders right into here, very clearly bunch of shoulders right here. We got a nice head right into here. And then what about if we do come down, hold support right around this level, and then get back up? We might get a nice rounded bottom right into here, where we can classify that as a right shoulder, which is obviously very valid, right? Very valid. A nice higher low right into here would be super great. And then we come back up to test the horizontal at about 70,000 once again, 71,000, and that would be the neckline of where we would need to break above to satisfy the bullish breakout out of this inverse head and shoulder. That is still very possible. As you can see, that we do have a lot of options here. This could even be a nice V recovery with a rounded bottom, which would be classified as an Adam and Eve pattern as well. So these are all great scenarios, and we need to be aware that it's still very bullish as long as we stay above even 60k. Even right now in the short term, if we stay above $63,000, we're still good. If we zoom in a little bit more, we're still good for Bitcoin to stay around above this thick yellow line, which really has represented the previous support, previous resistance, and you can see a lot of volume right into this area. So I'm paying attention for sure to 63K. Now, if that were to happen and we see signs of reversals on the 4-hour, I'm interested, and you can see that beginning. Let me kind of clean this up a little bit so we can move forward. And remember, I'm just going to keep this one in here, this mess right into here, this artwork, so that we can keep an eye on big picture, what's happening. We changed the character, we made this double top, we made a higher high on the price action, we went for another higher high, and to the point that we can kind of say, okay, no, we're making higher highs, and that's very clear, very, very evident. I'm going to keep this very loose because we want to just know that we're making higher highs on the price action, and then all of a sudden we're coming down. Now, what my question is, and my worry is, is there 3 drives of bearish divergence? And if there is the follow through done? Is it over? The worst case scenario, like I mentioned, is that we get a dead cat bounce here and come down to lower levels. So this is all very possible because, as you can see, we respected the thick yellow white line right here once, pretty much twice, and pretty much 3 times. We're going for it again to see what kind of bounce or what kind of support we get. And if you notice, slightly we're making higher lows, which is good, while we're making higher highs. And this is a broadening wedge type of scenario. You can see that this is a megaphone pattern here on the 4-hour that is slowly grinding to the upside. And a lot of the times these megaphone patterns break to the upside, particularly when you do see the price action get back to the top, get one last rejection, and then boom, and then these things start to break out. And because over time we're getting used to higher highs and higher lows, we're used to seeing this thing slowly expand to the upside, but we need volume, we need sustained volume, we need to get some more market participation in order to sustain the exponential gains over time. We need to see these bigger candles to the upside. We need more volume, so we're gonna have to be very, very patient on this. So what I am seeing is that we're doing pretty good here on the 4-hour, at least trying to hold and respect the 200 daily, at least holding the $63,000 mark, pretty good. Now, is it over? Let's take a look at momentum. Are we oversold? Are we overbought? What are we doing here? Let's get these oscillators going. And let's expand the momentum oscillator right here at the bottom. And this is the trend oscillator. Let's get the expand the momentum oscillator. Let's talk about the trend oscillator in a second. And we can see that generally speaking, we're doing pretty good. It's not too bad. We're oversold already, which is what we're looking for. Whenever we get into a trade, the best opportunity is when we see the price oversold, right? The best time opportunity to go long, and we enter that oversold state right here. Okay, you can see that. Just tagged it in. Now, do we come down for another touch? Do we come down for another lower low? Why I would like to see that is because I want to see some bullish divergence on this bottom. I want to see some indication that we're ready to reverse to the upside. Now, if you look at the 4-hour, last time it came down here and got its reversal, we really didn't get that. Right? So it doesn't mean that we have to get it now. The only difference is that now we got into a slightly oversold state. So it's not bad of a moment to start to say, you know what, any moments that we do come down for that dip, we might want to DCA for a long position and accumulate a position for the upside, because volatility is pushing up right now. Momentum might be looking for its reversal, and the expansion is down here, which, last time it came down to this level, definitely got its reversal, but the market is red right now. So are you going to be buying the red and accumulating on the red? That's the question. I know there's emotion at the current moment, but the 4-hour time frame is not bad based on a risk to reward ratio. What I mean by that is as we get closer to the thick white line, our invalidation for a bullish thesis is very good. Our risk to reward ratio is awesome. So I'm going to slowly clean up this artwork, and I'm going to get the setup going in a second, so we can get a picture of how we should be framing this, because framing the setup is very, very important. Let's take a look at the momentum. Momentum is still bearish. EMA is facing down, red histogram bars. The expansion is full force to the downside, and we're in the bearish control zone, as can be seen here on the 4-hour. So the daily is okay. Usually I get my setups done on the daily. It's still bearish. Give it a bit more. But the 4-hour potentially could be giving us that signal of a bottom that could cause a reversal on the 4-hour and eventually follow through and reversal on the daily. So what we're really trying to do is catch a nice bottom here as best as we can without taking too much risk. Obviously, part of catching a falling knife is taking risk, trying to catch the bottom, but catching a falling knife basically means that you're buying in and trying to catch the bottom without structure. And guess what, guys? We have the structure. We have the megaphone pattern. We got low, high, slightly higher low, another slightly higher low or double bottom, whatever the case is. And we can see that as we get closer to the thick white line, we can get invalidated. So what do we do here? Let's pretend that we're going to get into a long position right now. absolutely right now. We're going to put our stop loss into position right around here. Okay, on the 4 hour, I would put it slightly below the volume gap, slightly below this level. And then we start to say, well, if we hold support and we don't break below, we're good because we can get the bounce. And then where would I be taking profit? Be reasonable. Let's be reasonable here. We could say right around here, even to be safe for a quick move to the upside. A risk to reward ratio is over 3 to 1, which is healthy. And you're up approximately 7%, give or take. Now, if this is, something that you're interested in, you can consider leverage, of course, to increase the volatility, because obviously a 2% loss and a 7% gain, 7%, depending on your position size, it might not be much. And you might say, you know what, I'm very confident. So you know what, I'm going to put a bit of leverage. So use 2x. So instead of only 7%, that becomes 14% gains. But obviously you got to do 2x on your losses. So that becomes a 4% loss. So you got to really do the math to really figure out your risk tolerance. Guys, obviously not financial advice. Leverage is not for everybody. If you're new to crypto, please, please, please trade safely with using leverage. Start off very, very small. But if you are going to start trading and you're interested in an exchange that doesn't require KYC, guys, I do have links in the description to Blowfin. They're up and coming exchange, very small, but you know what? They've been doing pretty good. I've been using them over a couple of months now, and everything seems to be really, really clean and smooth. And of course, no KYC, which means that no ID is required to use it, which I kind of appreciate. Now, all of a sudden, you can see that the risk to reward ratio here is good. Okay, so if we can buy further down, closer to invalidation, which means that we're going to improve our risk to reward. You can see what that means. Let's say we come down a little bit more. We can DCA, we can slowly buy in a little bit more, or we could wait for entries at lower levels and we get closer to 5 to 1, 4 to 1, and you can see our percentages improve very slightly. But this is what you want. You want to be able to cut your losses, and just in case it reverses and just in case it follows, basically falls. Now, again, the dead cat bounce could be of an issue. Let's be real. We could get a bounce right here and even hit the previous high right onto this level, 65,700. Get a quick little dead cat bounce and come down and roll over. So be quick. As soon as you see your trade in profit, it is viable to put it at break even, because at least it's a trade that you're not going to take losses on. And as a trader, a trade that you don't lose or even break even is a winning trade. It is a winning trade. Why? Because you are able to trade again. If you lose capital, you lose your ability to trade. So you don't want to lose capital. Priority for a trader, first priority is to protect your initial investment, to protect your capital. After that, it's to protect your gains. So at any moment, guys, if we do get in a position right around here, based on this horizontal support, and we get the bounce, put yourself at break even and hopefully keeps on going. And if it doesn't and it stops you out, no big deal. All you have to do is try again when we get another setup or another opportunity. Right now, Bitcoin is looking pretty good, where there's no real sense to get totally fearful. I feel like the altcoin market is taking the bigger beating. And of course, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be talking about crypto news and price action. So guys, if you want to follow me, of course, on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. See you tonight, guys. Take care. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.